You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
We can deport violent, illegal criminals. That makes a lot of sense.
I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
Obama was not the president for this system.
Do you think that House Democrats and Senate Democrats should try to cooperate with Donald Trump if he tries to kick people off their health insurance? We're going to have a Youngstown street fight.
The American people, they voted against Hillary. They voted against this administration.
We pledge allegiance to one flag, and that flag is the American flag.
Welcome to the Abolitionists Roundtable, your all-access pass to the 2017 Red, White, and Blue Conservative Revolution. Join the conversation at 734-822-1600. Now, here are your hosts, Del Marsh, Phil Stargell, and Janice Daniels.
All right, thank you for joining the Abolitionist Roundtable. Yes, we're trying to protect and preserve a nation that spiral into chaos. Absolutely it is, and liberals are on the cutting edge of trying to create this spiral, this downward spiral of our country. It's up to us. It's our responsibility to protect this nation. It's our responsibility to protect the nation and give it to our kids and grandkids and great-great-grandkids, and let them know that they have to still protect something. This is the last hope for America, for the world. This is the last hope. Or we are, like Reagan said in the beginning of the opening of the show, or we're going to be sentencing our children and great-grandchildren to 1,000 years of darkness. We can see that the more liberalism elevate themselves, we can see that that darkness is elevated in these areas. Well, one of my points is why do I mean by darkness has started to advance itself in our country? One of the groups that, and good morning, welcome to the Abolitionist Roundtable. If you'd like to join the conversation, give us a call, 734-822-1600. We've heard the news this week about Bill O'Reilly. I'm not a big Bill O'Reilly fan, but I am about due process. I'm about his day in court, about somebody not just accusing somebody and all of a sudden you know they can just take out a person's career. This is all about the white male. It's about taking out the white male. It's about removing the white male. It's about trying to bring down Fox News, degrading Fox News, bringing down their effectiveness of Fox News. It's about the effectiveness of Fox News. Liberals believe that it was Fox News that got President Donald Trump elected. And so what they have to do, see, they preparing for the next election. And so they know that they can't, to go around, they're using this process of going around the laws right now. Of course, we know that they would love to use what they call the fairness doctrine. Phil, they love to use the fairness doctrine to marginalize every radio station, every TV station, and bring in this, what they call this diversity. But what they did is they used, this is from the Huffington Post. It says how activists destroyed Bill O'Reilly's reputation with advertisers. What they did, we know that what they did. It was the New York Times on April 1st that ran an article. And it says it right here in the Huffington Post. They ran an article, said how powerful he was, how effective he was, how big he was, and how he had all these advertisers, and he was the brand, he was the strip, he was the foundation of Fox News. But then they had a group out there. This group I'll find the name of the group in a few seconds. But this group, what they did is they have from what they say, they have more than 80,000 followers. And what they did is their goal was to defund bigotry. This is what their wording was, to defund bigotry. They used their 80,000 followers to look at Breitbart daily, and taking a screenshot of their ads and tweeting it to their advertisers from the site. And it was in an effort to bring down Breitbart. It was in an effort to. This is the same strategy they used to bring down Bill O'Reilly. What they did is it wasn't. We know that it probably. They say they have 80,000 followers. It's probably about 10 to 15 people that created all these false emails and false Twitter accounts, and they took down a white male. It's about a white male. It's not. And that white male they saw was the strength and the model of conservatives. Bill O'Reilly was not a conservative, but they saw that Bill O'Reilly had too much power. Remember what a few weeks ago, when Sean Hannity did an interview with Ted Campo. He said, you guys are, I don't like, alternative television and radio because you guys are really good and it's ideology over the facts. And so he opened up that door to that right there.
And that shows you how they have carried that narrative, ideology over the facts. Mm-hmm. And it is the liberal end of the TV spectrum that will not tell the truth.
That's
Every
right.
story they have is just
news.
about it's not about facts. It's about perception and how to change that perception to what it is that they're trying to market.
That's right.
And they accuse Fox News of that. That's what Bill Clinton did.
Yes.
That's what Obama did.
Yeah.
They kept saying that they can say things and people can't respond. Well, that's a lie. You got the most powerful position in the world, and whenever you want to speak, you will be able to speak, and people are going to listen. And yet still, he says things like Fox News says this was Barack Obama. Fox News is able to present a position at which we have no way to respond.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, and people actually believe that nonsense. So this is the whole thing of it. Yeah, they were out to get Bill O'Reilly and take down that whole thing. And I saw the lady that is going to be here in Detroit Sunday. Mm-hmm. She's going to be rewarded by the NAACP for her treachery in all of this stuff, because she was the first person that I actually saw that made mention of these women getting money from Bill O'Reilly and settling the thing out of court, because there had been accusations against Bill O'Reilly, but the gag order said that they had to keep that quiet about getting money and how much money that they received, and yet still it leaked out, and that was the beginning of the downfall.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's what liberals are looking at. They're looking at a long-term goal, a long-term position field. Mm-hmm. It's about having an effect on Donald Trump's presidency. Bill O'Reilly had him on his show a number of times. He had him on his show a number of times. Sean, I don't believe that they don't see Sean Hannity as a real threat to him at all. Sean kind of over time kind of repeat the same thing over and over and over. It's not saying that he's not a good guy. It's not saying that he's not a big brand. But they saw that for them to bring down that brand of Fox News, like you said, it was President Obama over and over and over that attacked Fox all the time, attacking Fox, and it was not necessarily attacking attacking quote unquote Fox News, but it was to attack Bill O'Reilly. He had a number of interviews with Bill O'Reilly, and he wouldn't have an interview with Sean Hannity, but he would talk to Bill O'Reilly. And when Bill O'Reilly went a little bit, close to the line, he would tap him and say, "Well, Bill, let's talk about something else."
Yeah, and one of the things that used to irritate me, and you and I talked about this, that we weren't necessarily big O'Reilly fans, but the thing about it, O'Reilly wasn't the thing. It was the target. The target of this. He was to take him down. Yes. Is to take down the integrity of that station. And make people make people realize that what Obama and Bill Clinton had said before was that Fox wasn't a legitimate piece of news channel. They were something else. They didn't bring you the accurate true news, and that is wrong. As much as I had differences with Bill O'Reilly, at least what he presented was reliable. At least when he said something or he presented a fact, you could go with it. You knew that was going to be the truth, and it had been done with some very vigorous research. And then the product of that is on the channels every night. Those girls that we see on there that supposedly were behind the Greta Van Sustrans and those ones that actually left. Those girls were the ones that did that research and stuff. They were elevated because they presented accurate facts, and that's how they became household names and household viewers. So, but in the case of the lady that I was talking about, that was the first place that I heard it. Because from time to time, I will turn to MSNBC and those stations to see what's going on. And I just happened to be on there that night when it was the first time that I had heard anybody make reference to the fact that Bill O'Reilly had paid some people in order to stop the the bleeding, and say, what, let's get that out the way and move on, because it's not true, but I'd rather protect my family than to bring all this nonsense out.
He did settle. And
I think that was a mistake.
And again, these are people, and it's one of the groups that did this is a liberal nonprofit group. It's called Media Matters. We know who Media Matters. Media Matters said that they take responsibility for in 2009. They got hundreds of advertisers to drop Fox News Glenn Beck. Remember, Glenn Beck, at that time, man, Glenn Beck was at his A game. Glenn Beck did a very, very good job. I was a really big Glenn Beck guy,
and so was I.
And so we talk about somebody that brought things on a level that no other media network could bring it. And so how did they take him out? Through the advertisers. Later on, this is the same people that tried to take out Rush Limbaugh with his advertisers too. You notice that they see, liberals, they don't try to compete fairly on the same level far as the market, and let the free market no, so they can't compete with conservative radio and television that's more libertarian, moderate, or conservative at all. So what they do is they go and try to take them out.
Well, let's look at
the advertising.
Let's look at the actual.
Notice that conservatives or people on the right, we don't do that.
No,
we need that's what something it need to be done to them. They're the ones that are the real bigots. They calling people actually bigots. These are the ones that don't protect our children. They are murder an innocent child. These are the ones that are.
The thing is, the question is, what did he do?
Well,
see, that's why I disagree with what he did. He should have fought them women because, just like what he said about Maxine Waters.
Yes.
And Maxine Waters is supposed to be getting her reward this weekend too. But what he said about her, that also had a part in this. Yeah. Because when he said that she looked like James Brown and had a James Brown wig on.
Yes.
I mean, look. I mean, the wrath of all of the Black Caucus and everybody else came down on him. But they didn't have to do the active because the MSNBCs and all of those stations did the actual groundwork and the footwork to lay the basis for the knockout punch, which came because of a black woman that was employed at a lower level, not on camera. Yeah. That's how they got Bill O'Reilly. Yeah. And so it's all about the thing about...
Well, it's with her and a number of other... They brought them out. I seen some other white liberal woman that said, how can you be on a powerful station like that and come out against a powerful conservative... he's no conservative at all, but a powerful man like Bill O'Reilly. And so they brought out a number of people. And again, these are all this is accusation. I believe that these women should all take a polygraph. Anybody come out and suddenly say that anyone accuse you of something. I mean, we can't just automatically take their word for granted. We know
that's the special rights of identity politics.
Yes.
Every group that is being identified and targeted to be a Democrat, whether it's illegals, whether it's illegal criminals.
That's right.
I mean, all of these people have a place at the table of the Democrat Party. Then you got women that have the right to do a whole lot of things and make a lot of accusations, and nobody is questioning them because the first thing somebody says is, well, you're going to blame the victim. Now, that's why Bill O'Reilly did what he did, but it backfired on him because all this stuff should have been out in the open and let people make the decisions, since the decision has been made that he was taken out because of the sponsors not having a real reason to not continue their sponsorship of the show because they don't really know what the inside of it is.
No, they don't.
They don't know what the inside
of it is. But what happened is these groups like Media Matters, what they do is they just flood these companies with emails and Twitter accounts and Facebooks with complaints about their advertisers, again, like Fox News and Bill O'Reilly. They don't like what he said. They're offended by what he said, and you shouldn't sponsor. Again, they talk about sponsoring bigotry.
Yeah.
I looked that word bigotry up. They talk about somebody that's intolerant to those who have a different opinion from oneself. Well, these are the ones that I have a different opinion than liberalism. They're the ones that's bigot because they want to silence somebody because they have a different opinion.
And the example goes back to our colleges. You notice that there was a big drive to run religion out of the colleges, and at the same time there was a drive to make the religious organizations that were on campus to allow people, even atheists, to join their organization and even assume leadership levels. And so now what we got is the business have incorporated that into their model. And they all have to overexert themselves to put women in high places in order to show that there is no glass ceiling in their cooperation. Now you got women making decisions on people that are political, such as what just happened here. Now we got women making these decisions or influencing the people that are making the decisions because you see it all the time where people say, well, my daughter is this or that. My daughter does this and that, and I want to make sure she's got all of the rights. Well, she's got all of the rights. As a matter of fact, she's got more rights than you and me as men.
Yeah.
And especially as Bill O'Reilly, as a white, powerful man.
Yeah. All right. All right. Good morning, Bruce. How you doing?
Hey, guys, let me get off speaker here real quick. Yeah, good morning. Morning, guys. Great program, great topic. Hope you guys had a wonderful resurrection weekend.
Great. Yes, I did.
Well, very good. You know, Phil, you mentioned Maxine Waters is coming to Detroit tomorrow, along with Elizabeth Warren, eh?
That's right.
You mean Laverne and Shirley of the Democrat Party?
And here's the lineup.
Yeah.
Joy Reid of MSNBC and Sally Yates, you know, the former prosecutor that Trump fired?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
she's there getting an award.
What a crew. Well, we'll be down there tomorrow standing for life. I believe it starts at 3 o'clock.
Yes.
I'll have to check with that with Pastor Ewell later today. But I also wanted to mention that today at 11 o'clock, we're going to be getting together in Royal Oak for the Tri-County Liberty Coalition April meeting. That's at 12 Mile and Main Street in Royal Oak. We have a real special person coming in today. Our featured speaker will be Rebecca Kiesling. Now, Rebecca Kiesling was the product of she was born alive, brought into this world even under some very, very violent circumstances, and particularly that her mother had been raped, but decided to keep her. And what a great decision that was, because Rebecca is just a beautiful lady. I've spoken to her a couple of times, real briefly, and we were very, very fortunate to get her today. She has written a pamphlet called Conceived in Rape. And, you know, guys, we hear all this stuff about how abortion should be allowed in cases of rape and incest and that type of thing. But when you think about it, gentlemen, what you're doing is you are determining the value of a life based on the way in which it was conceived, and that is terrible, a terrible thing to have to do. You know, why should a child who has committed no crime at all have to pay with his life for the violent actions of the rapist or the person who engaged in incest?
Yeah, and that is it's a very, very, very hard situation to deal with.
Of course it is.
Because, you know, the one thing is that a lot of the people that will be sympathetic to trying to talk to people to continue that birth sequence, you know, because of the fact that it is such a tough thing to tell somebody, well, you know, you can't do this or you can't do that. But boy, they should not stop the people that are in opposition to the abortion from being able to get the truth out to people, because they are very much censoring the people that are trying to change hearts and minds. They're not necessarily trying to change laws at this time, because in order to get these laws changed, it's going to have to be a change in hearts and minds.
Yeah, and attitude, exactly. We have such a culture of death that has risen up in this country over the last 30 to 40 years, if not longer. And, Ellis Washington wrote of not only the culture of death, but the culture of acceptance. And, we just take this stuff for granted, guys. This to me is a very, very serious indictment of our society as a whole. I mean, I think we've seen there's so much violence on television and the movies and stuff, and it's all brought out in the media and all that sort of thing, to the point where you just hear about it and you shrug your shoulders and you go on to the next thing. And I think we as a society, guys, the larger thing is we have to kind of sit back and just take stock, engage in introspection of ourselves, and ask ourselves, what are we doing? Why are we going down this road? And where is that road going to end up leading us to? What conclusion?
All right, thank you, Bruce. All right, we'll talk to you later.
We'll see you out in Royal Oak today, 11 o'clock.
All right.
All right, folks, if you'd like to join the conversation, give us a call at 734-822-1600. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Mary, did you know that your baby boy will one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy will save our sons and daughters. Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you delivered.
You're listening to the Abolitionists Roundtable, patriotic, red, white, and blue, conservative all-access radio, with your hosts, Del, Phil, and Janice. They're leading the charge and advancing the conservative revolution. Join the conversation at 734-822-1600.
Hello, I'm Milt, and this is Logically Speaking Uncensored. Where do boys go to become men? Before the 1960 feminist brigades surfaced from the political correct swamp of liberalism, this question would have been idiotic. But today, where do boys go to become men is a serious matter crying out for an answer. And heterosexual parents who value the compatible differences between boys and girls need to find the answer, even if they only have girls. Once a boy was a cause to celebrate, and manhood was honorable. But now, boys are an endangered species and manhood is on the verge of extinction. As a result of lies by man-hating feminists who project women as abused, defenseless victims of male violence. And they suggest the only way to stop male violence is to convert and socialize boys, which means to destroy their avenues to manhood. To underscore my thesis, Christina Hoff Sommers' book, The War Against Boys, exposes with facts and words of people within feminist and liberal organizations plans to feminize and make boys more like girls. During the 1960s, feminists and liberals launched their war on heterosexuals, especially boys, with frontal assaults on the normalcy of the two-parent family and the destruction of the sanctity of marriage between man and woman. Where do boys go to become men? The logical place used to be their father or a reputable father figure, with reinforcements from churches or synagogues, the Boy Scouts, Boys Club, major sports outlets, or the military. But these avenues for boys to learn to be men have been compromised by liberal court decrees that girls and gender impersonators must be included in any venture once reserved for boys. The fact that manhood has credentials as an irreplaceable creation in God's universe is dismissed. Methodically, boys are being socially and spiritually castrated. Recently, a 5-year-old boy was charged with a sex offense for kissing a girl classmate. If he had kissed a boy, he would have been praised by feminists and liberals for courageously exploring his sexuality. But efforts to tamper and convert the male DNA into something which it is not can only result in horrendous, unforeseeable consequences for humankind. The correlation between boys seeking manhood and the diabolical infiltration of feminists and homosexuality into every venue where boys and manhood are revered is no accident. And the declaration that boys and girls are equal is an evil lie because they are not. Where do boys go to become men? If heterosexual parents want boys to become real men, they had better find the answer and oppose those who have declared war on boys. It is axiomatic. Destroy the boys, you destroy the men. And you destroy women who need real men. I am Milt, logically speaking, uncensored, saying, think about it.
Guy up there like that. All right, thank you, Milt. All right, great. Thank you, Milt, for sending that out. Milt, you hear Milt every Saturday on the other end of the dial, and he's sending commentary down. But here, we're going to go back for a minute. We went into the Bill O'Reilly thing a little bit. We went into this insanity that liberals, again, I'm just going to mention how it's liberals that said that calling the advertising and said that they can't continue, they must defund bigotry, and I looked up that word bigotry, and so I want to mention that it's liberals that are the ones they talk about bigotry, but they're the ones that murder the innocent. They give them a death penalty, and they don't even give them a trial. They don't even give them a court-appointed attorney. They give them nothing at all.
But look what look how they're battling to keep those guys in Arkansas alive. Talking about they got a death warrant. They had to take out a death warrant that will expire.
And so, Phil, here you can be you could murder everybody in the house, but a liberal will protect you from being executed by the needle.
Yeah.
By the needle.
Yeah.
Now,
but they don't mind running a lawn mowing machine up into a woman and cutting this baby into pieces.
Right. Cut him to pieces and throw it away like they're garbage. As a matter of fact, they cut up the baby so that when they pull out the baby and deliver the baby, so the woman don't see that it's an actual child, that it's an actual person, that it had feelings, that it had arms and legs and feet and so on.
And a mind.
Yes, and a mind.
A developing mind.
And a mind. They murdered the innocent. They murder the innocent. They call it family planning. We talked about this self-mutilation that's going on. We just heard this lady, butchered. A mother took her children to this doctor, and this doctor butchered her children. Butchered her. And so you don't see this selective outrage right now from liberals at all, because at the end of the day, they would love to work with this person, but it's not their time yet right now. They support Islam. They support the religion of death. Here I was just looking at Christian News today, and we're going to get to our calls in a few minutes. I was looking at Christian News today, and it was a mother said she's still praying for the 300 girls that were kidnapped in Nigeria, Christian girls, by this group called Boko Haram, a Muslim group. And so this selective outrage that liberals had, they compassionate about the children, they compassionate about women, they about the feminists advancing and feminists of the movement, the feminist Nazi movement. But here we have these. I said this 2 years ago that you could give Phil and myself, 50 years old and 70 years old, you could give us 300 of the best U.S. military, and we could go in, and we could have took out Boko Haram with the Nigerian military, could have took them out and got them all back home within 48 hours. I believe that we could have did something like that right there. And I'm 53 years old.
Yeah.
They forced this. Here again, they talk about bigotry, and they want to take down people because of bigotry, and they believe in forcing our children and great children, that forcing this fake gender identity on our children today. My daughter she was sitting there watching TV, and something came on with Bruce Jenner. And she was outraged. This is an 8-year-old. She was outraged. Oh my God, Dad, I can't. Why would they show something like that right there? And I'm a kid.
And here's the thing.
My daughter was outraged.
You are in
8-year-old.
And we are in jeopardy for calling him Bruce Jenner. Some people want laws where you have to address these people. If you've been addressing him as Bruce Jenner all his life, now all of a sudden you got to address him as somebody else. Some female name. I forget what her name is.
Well, he's still Bruce Jenner. No matter if he can change his anatomy all he wants. He still was born a male. You know, at the end of the day, his behavior is still going to reflect the male. He can go through all the surgery. He's still a male. At the end of the day,
and his own family have not joined in on and with any enthusiasm. They say they love him, but they're not into that. You know, so, you know, it's a big change that these people are forcing on us. And again, what they're doing is it's forcing us to this point by ignoring all of the guardrails and all of the traditional values that have served us in America for the last 250 some years.
Well, all that stuff has been thrown out the window, and again, we just looked at this, and according to the Huffington Post, they ran a couple of articles and then they took it down. But one of their bloggers said that it's time to take away the vote of the white male. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I didn't say this. I'm pointing out that what liberals believe. They believe that it's time to take away the vote of the white male. And I'm gonna read a little bit of what she said. And the reason why they want to take away the vote of the white male, and then I'm gonna get to some of our calls. Now, this woman, she's an activist, she's a feminist, she has a master's degree in psychology.
That's the problem.
That's the problem right there. But she believed that it's time to take the first temporary restrictions of the franchise to defranchise or delegitimize the white male. And it says if white men no longer had the vote, the progressive cause could be strengthened. Yeah. This is what she said. She said the progressive cause. So she feel that, again, Bill O'Reilly, we got to take him out the way. For us to move the progressive cause, we just call his advertising. Oh, we know that we're not going to give him his day in court. All we need is these women just to come out, and we'll get somebody like the Elder Edge woman who's a slip and fall lawyer to go out there and make all these wild accusations about Bill O'Reilly just because he calls somebody hot chocolate or chocolate or you beautiful chocolate. All of a sudden that becomes sexual harassment. Phil.
Yeah, that's why they have to keep it under wraps and not really let the truth out.
And so if somebody gonna come out and have an accusation like this about, now hold on. So if they can do this to him and we not have an outrage, what if they try to do that to Phil? What if they tried to do it to me? What if they tried to do something like that to this news, to this station right here? We have to fight them back. They need to have each one of those women take a polygraph test. I'm not saying, but he gets his day in court, or whether you like Bill O'Reilly or not, he get his day in court. And so we seen them, and they already said they was able to take down Glenn Beck on Fox News. They said they were able to affect the advertisers on Rush Limbaugh. That's who they headed at next. They pointed this out, and this is a black progressive that believed that that they should take away the vote of the white male. Folks, this is what it's all about. This is what it's about. It's about, now here, watch this, Phil. This is from Mother Jones. Now, they said the underground anti-racist movement that brings the fight to white supremacists. So what they're trying to say is that to justify this is that the reason why they beat up or fight the Trump administrations or the people that support Trump, because they're the white supremacists. Yeah. And so it's okay for us to to put on masks and throw stuff at them and beat them up because we're fighting against the system. And who do they send out there? They sending out these, we've seen this in California, they sending out white males to fight against what they trying to label them white supremacists. And this is why the rejection of Trump. even though all the great stuff we've had, Phil, over the last going on 100 days, this is what it's all about right here. And we're going to go to some of our calls, clear our line. Folks, we're in the fight of our life, and it takes all of us. Here, let me just mention this right here. The Abolitionist Roundtable is a listener-supported radio station, listener-supported talk show. And so we have no advertisers. You don't hear any advertisers on. So for Phil and I to stay truly independent and to truly speak the truth without having to worry about liberals calling our advertisers and threatening them, folks, it's important for you to support us. Whatever level that you can give, we need your support. If you can go to artofmichigan.com. All right, and so we're going to clear some of the lines. We have our friend Gary from Hazel Park. Good morning, Gary.
Hey, good morning, Joe.
Hey, good morning.
You know, Bill O'Reilly, the left has taken a word, a phrase, sexual harassment, and perverted it like they do most words these days, because sexual harassment is a real thing. And you take an alpha male and you surround him by beautiful women, and you tell him to act like a eunuch, and it's not going to work. I mean, it used to be very traditional for a man to pick up his wife at the workplace. Now you can't even talk to him at the workplace without having some suspicious coming down on you. So it's really been a disservice to our society as a whole for the left, just to take normal attraction, sexual attraction between a man and a woman, and turn it into something wrong. And I try to fight it as best I can, but I'm a married man, so I can't do much of anything at all. But you still have to let the females know we appreciate them. Heterosexual and proud, that's what I say.
Yeah. You know what, can I ask you something, Gary? Now, we all look at, from time to time, we have our favorite shows on Fox News, but if you turn on Fox News, unlike some of the other networks, but let's just be honest, are the blouses all low cut? Are the women on there with sleeveless blouses on it? Are the skirts so short that we can use our imagination? From time to time, I had to turn the TV onto something else because I thought it was a little offensive. And so this is what the women at Fox News, this is the culture that they had already built for them to try to build their own brand on that network. I mean, did you notice some of those things when you watch Fox News?
Oh, you can't help it. You know, Fox is at Fox. Yeah, you got it.
Okay, Gary, thanks a lot, my friend. We'll talk to you soon. All right, we're going to go to Ed from Ypsilanti, and he said he got something to talk about Bruce Jenner.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You realize, of course, that Tucker Carlson's taking over Bill O'Reilly's spot.
Yeah, we did. And we was just talking about Tucker. Tucker's a nice guy, and I think he does a good job. But Bill was a little bit more aggressive. He was a very aggressive commentator.
Well, I think Tucker's pretty aggressive too.
Okay.
I think his bookers are. In fact, I heard him talking to Greg, what's his face, at the end of the Factor last night. And they were talking about how your bookers, how they get these people to come on, given the grilling you're going to give them. And along those lines, well, the big thing is that he's going to have Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, on Monday night.
Yeah,
I am looking forward to that. I hope he's going to give her the Tucker face at some of the things that she says, that quizzical look that he gives.
Yes, that's his brand right there.
I'm so looking forward to seeing how that works out.
And then he'll have to have that sarcastic laugh also.
Oh yeah. But I'd like to say one thing about Bill O'Reilly, and I don't know what went on with Bill, one way or the other.
Yes.
But if you maintain yourself in the workplace in such a way that you are totally clean, that there's no chance whatsoever that anybody can say anything about you, you have that. Everybody will say your character is such.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you see what they did to Pence when he said that he was not going to have dinner or anything like that with anybody that wasn't his wife and all of that. And what happened? The backlash from the feminists said that he shouldn't be in the position to do the hiring because he wouldn't be fair.
Right.
That's.
Well, you guys have a blessed morning.
All right, you too.
It says what? Never dine alone with a woman. Rule isn't honorable. It's probably illegal. That's what the feminist said.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So, good morning, Gary from Roseville.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know,
Gary, are you a white male?
Yeah. These extreme left-wing, leftist, radical lunatics that are saying that if you're a white male, you must be some kind of enemy.
And you shouldn't have the right to vote.
Yeah, exactly. How many progressive, liberal white males are on their side?
Yes.
And how many very conservative people that are not white are on the opposite side?
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is the problem when they all of a sudden seem to classify color or race as all being the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all white males are the same, and all, you know, black males are the same, and
they
all
upset.
green males are the same, and
yeah.
you know, the insanity of their logic, you know, is people. I don't know. It's just nuts. It's crazy.
Yes, it is. And the thing about it is that particular, you know, white male is the one that brought the world into enlightenment.
That's right.
And, you know, like it certainly wasn't the Islamists that brought us into light. Sure wasn't Genghis Khan and his crew.
Nope.
It was the white male with the Christianity and the heart of a Christian that took ignorance out of society.
Yes.
And we're still fighting that ignorance, but we've almost eradicated it at one time.
Yeah, we did, and gave us the best Constitution, Bill of Rights ever to mankind. Phil, and today still the best documents ever to mankind. They gave us something called inalienable rights.
Yes.
And today we still no one has given or on the same level that we have given mankind or made sure that mankind had their inalienable rights, but then we got people that's trying to take that away. They feel, you know, we heard Obama say that those are negative rights.
Yeah.
You know, or they limit what the government can do for people. It was never intended for the government to do things for people. This country has risen to the height that it has is because of people in their garage coming up with some great ideas. And then they presented it to the United States and presented it to the mankind and brought mankind to a level of never seen from Britain, never seen from all your Islamic states, your Islamic countries. Only America has brought us all to a level unprecedented. Never seen before. And still, even though we have so many problems, I mean, just think about this. A guy came up with something called Facebook, and now he, you know, multi-billionaire. And somebody come up with Twitter and all this other stuff. You know, and somebody came up with the toilet and the sink. I mean, these are things. It's electricity. Do you know it's still countries out there that don't have electricity? They still have a candle. They still have a fireplace. You know, and liberals do not want all these modern necessities to be available in these countries at all. And the reason why, because they saying that because I have electricity, I can turn my heat up because it was a little cold last night. I had to turn it up to about 68, turn it on. But they believe that because of all the modern necessities that we have today, that it's us that's creating this false reality called global warming.
Not us, them, the white men. Thanks, Gary.
Oh boy, thanks, Gary. Folks, Phil will be on next week. You better come back to this station next week. Go to our website, artofmichigan.com. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next week.
The Abolitionist Roundtable invites the WAAM TALK1600 listeners to continue the roundtable discussions by mailing correspondence to Art of Michigan, Post Office Box 135, Garden City, Michigan 48135.
Or follow Phil, Del, and Janice at artofmichigan.com. You can also send emails to artofmichigan@hotmail.com. And most of all, continue to listen every Saturday and tell a friend.